Hi everyone, we're going to let f of x equal 5 cosine pi divided by 4x and g of x equal this quadratic function. So on the same diagram we're going to sketch these graphs. And this is a calculator problem, so what you can do is use your graphing display calculator, and look at the second graph to see the table, and that'll help you graph it. But still, it's just a sketch. So I went ahead and saved time to sketch these. I put them both in the calculator, and then, which is a lot nicer than what I did here. And then I looked from 0 to 9, got these endpoints here, and then graphed, tried to graph it as much as I could on the iPad. All right, so here are the two graphs, and we need to write down the for the graph of f, which is the blue one, the x-intercept. So that lies between 0 and 3, so it's right there for the blue one. So that's 0, 2, or 2, 0. The period of the graph. So if we start the graph here, and it is cosine, ends here, so it ends at 8 here. Starts at 0, ends at 8. So the period is 8. I'll put it here. Period equals 8, because it makes a complete wave in 8 units here. Up here, all the way up to here. All right. Then the amplitude of this graph, so this is at -5 here. So the amplitude is 5, because you're going up 5 and down 5. So the amplitude is 5. And then we have to consider the other graph, G, the two x-intercepts. So here's one. It's the same as our f. So 2, 0. And right here is 8, 0. The equation of the axis of symmetry, that's at this high point of the max. So you write that down, and that will be x equals 5. On an IB exam, they'll count that wrong if you don't put the x, if you just write down 5. All right, so now we're going to let R be the region enclosed by the graphs of f and g. So that means this area, let's do red, A, B, and C. So we're going to do our limits of the area from here to this point here. So you're going to use your graphing display calculator and get this, calculate this intersection here on your graphs. And you'll get, this is going to be 6.79. So our limits are going to be from 2 to 6.79 on our integrals. All right, so let's get started with that. And we're going to integrate, and the way you want to integrate is you can just do our integral from f minus your g. So that's basically your integral of f of x dx minus your integral of g of x dx. And we're going from 2 to 6.79. So we're going to get started and write down our equations. So from 2 over the interval 2 to 6.79, and we have negative, let's see, 0.5, let's see, well, f of x is this. So anyway, I did it this way. It really doesn't matter which order because we're just finding the area. So negative 0.5. So I'm basically doing g of x dx minus f of x dx. All right, so I'm really doing g minus that. So basically, negative 0.5x squared plus 5x minus 8 minus 5 cosine of pi divided by 4x. All right, so let's integrate. And when you integrate, you're going to get negative 0.5x cubed. Divide that by 3 plus 5x squared. Divide by 2 minus 8x minus, now with this pi over 4, you want to divide this by pi divided by 4. And the antiderivative of cosine is sine. Pi divided by 4x. And we're going to evaluate from 2 to 6.79. All right. So we're going to first plug in this number and then this. And since on the IB exam, make sure you use your calculator wisely. So basically, for this one, this is really 20 divided by pi. Just move this 4 up. Sometimes for this one, I'm just going to write this as negative 1/6 x cubed. That's easier to put in the calculator, especially when you're dealing with these fractions. So let's plug everything in, and you're going to get negative 0, or I'll just write it out this way, negative 0.5, 6.79 cubed divided by 3 plus 5 halves times 6.79 squared minus 8 times 6.79 minus 20 divided by pi, sine of 6.79. So when you work all this out, you get 13, let me see where I wrote it. Approximately, if you have a good graphing calculator, you can work all this out and it works out pretty good. You get 13.94, and there's more digits there. So if you have the CE calculator, you can just go up and bring that down. All right, and then we're going to subtract the 2 parts. So then you get negative, I'll just call this 1/6, 2 cubed plus 5 halves, 2 squared, minus 8 times 2, minus 20 pi sine of 2. And this amount gives you approximately, where did I write that down? 13.69, or negative 13.69. So when you finally subtract them, you're going to get 13.94. Try to put as many decimals as you can, minus a negative 13.69. Try to put as many decimals as you can, and you get 27. Let's see what I got. 27.644900015. So on the IB exam, we want 3 significant figures. So this is just going to be 27.6 equals your area. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.